There's a rule in the dark psychology of attraction few dare to speak aloud. A law whispered through history, one that Machiavelli himself lived by. It's the method that turns indifference into obsession. Not through love, not through approval, but through power. Every man wants to be desired, but the great ones, the Stoics, the strategists, the unmoved, they don't chase that desire, they provoke it. Machiavelli once said, "Men must either be caressed or annihilated." It sounds brutal, ruthless, but hidden beneath that cold wisdom lies one of the darkest truths about human nature and attraction. People crave what they cannot fully possess. The moment they believe they've secured you, the mystery dies, the chase fades, and the emotional gravity that once pulled them toward you begins to dissolve into air. When you understand this, truly understand it, you stop giving yourself away so freely. You stop explaining every silence. You stop proving your worth to anyone who can't already feel it. You begin to master the art of withholding, not out of manipulation, but out of mastery. Because in a world where everyone overshares, mystery becomes a weapon. Every text, every post, every desperate attempt to be seen, it bleeds power. The modern man gives away too much of his soul too soon to anyone who shows him attention, and the more he gives, the less value his presence holds. Pause. When you pull back, when you go silent, when your presence fades like smoke after fire, something primal awakens in her. You ignite the instinct to hunt, not because she's cruel, not because she wants to conquer you, but because the human mind is addicted to solving the unknown, and you, in your silence, become that puzzle. Most men believe attention equals affection, but attention without mystery is cheap. When she knows exactly where you are, what you feel, what you'll say next, there's no tension, no polarity, no pulse. You've removed the uncertainty that gives desire its fire. It's not the smile that keeps her thinking. It's the silence that follows it. It's not the text you send. It's the one you don't. It's not the confession of your feelings. It's the restraint to hold them, let them burn quietly beneath your calm exterior. This doesn't mean playing games. Stoic men do not play games. They control the board. You must learn to detach from the need to be understood. Let her wonder. Let her speculate. Because when her imagination starts to fill in the blanks, she creates a version of you that's larger than life. And that's the version she'll crave. The man who withholds doesn't do it out of fear. He does it from strength. He understands that intimacy without mystery collapses into comfort, and comfort kills attraction. He gives just enough warmth to keep her near, but never enough to make her certain. He leaves behind traces, not explanations. He allows silence to do what words cannot, build tension, depth, and desire. Remember this: women don't fall in love with men who talk. They fall in love with the feeling they get in his presence. And mystery heightens that feeling. It turns every glance, every pause, every word into something that means more. When you withhold, you create space for her to project her curiosity, her fantasy, her longing. That's not manipulation, it's magnetism. Even Machiavelli knew this truth, applied beyond politics. Control comes not from what you give, but from what you deny. In scarcity, value increases. In silence, your voice grows louder. When you stop chasing validation, you start commanding respect. So hold your cards close. Don't reveal every motive, every emotion, every piece of your story. Let her earn access to your inner world. Because what is easily given is easily forgotten, but what must be discovered stays engraved in memory. Be unpredictable. One day warm, the next unreadable. Not because you're cold, but because you're centered. You are not reacting to her. You are choosing her responses through your restraint. Your silence becomes her mirror, reflecting back her own need for meaning. And when she begins to chase that meaning, to decode your calm, to understand your detachment, she's no longer chasing you. She's chasing her own emotions around you. And that is the deepest form of obsession. So remember the rule: mystery is oxygen to attraction. Starve her of certainty, and she'll feed on curiosity. You become the question she cannot stop replaying in her mind. The man she can't quite rid, can't quite predict, and can't quite forget. That is the essence of power. That is the art of withholding. And that, as Machiavelli would whisper from the shadows, is how a man turns silence into seduction. Emotions are powerful, but uncontrolled emotion is slavery. A man ruled by his feelings is a man who has surrendered his throne. And Machiavelli understood this better than anyone. He taught that true rulers master appearances, not hearts. They appear calm, even in chaos. They smile even when betrayed. They bleed, but never let it show. Because emotion, when weaponized, is strength. But emotion, when revealed, becomes vulnerability. And in the dark dance of attraction, the one who holds his composure holds control. Pause. You can show warmth, but never dependence. You can care, but never cling. The Stoic man knows that love is not about losing oneself. It's about remaining centered in the storm. The moment you begin to need her, you've already started to lose her. Because need reeks of weakness, and weakness kills mystery. She may crave connection, but she worships composure. A man who cannot be emotionally shaken becomes a living paradox. He invites affection yet resists control. When she feels your peace cannot be disturbed, something awakens in her. A question, a challenge, a subtle desire to be the one who breaks your calm. Not to destroy you, but to matter to you. And that's the paradox. The man she cannot emotionally own becomes the man she cannot emotionally forget. Emotional detachment doesn't mean indifference. It means discipline. It's the art of feeling deeply but acting wisely. It's knowing when to speak and when to let silence speak for you. It's the awareness that love can be real, and yet control must remain in your hands. Most men live on emotional autopilot. They react to every message, every tone, every shift in her mood. She pulls away, he chases. She goes silent, he panics. And in that panic he reveals his dependence. His peace was never his own. It belonged to her approval. A Stoic man flips that equation. He becomes emotionally sovereign. He doesn't let his mood be dictated by hers. He doesn't let her withdrawal ignite his insecurity. He understands that the strongest seduction is silence, the unspoken truth that he doesn't need her to feel whole. And paradoxically, that's what draws her closer. When you master your emotions, you shift from reactive to magnetic. Instead of chasing energy, you command it. Your calm presence becomes rare currency in a chaotic world. While others scramble for validation, you remain still, like a mountain unmoved by the storm. And that stillness unsettles her in the most intoxicating way, because stillness implies power. It says, you can't touch what's already complete. No, emotional detachment is not about coldness. It's about control. It's the quiet power of the man who feels everything, but lets nothing enslave him. He loves deeply, but never loses himself. He listens, but never justifies. He connects, but never begs. His emotions serve him, not the other way around. When she looks into your eyes and sees calm instead of chaos, something happens. Her instinct, the primal part of her that's used to power through drama and dominance, begins to soften, because she senses something ancient presence. A man who has conquered his inner world cannot be conquered in hers. That's why emotional detachment is the blade of control. It cuts through illusion. It slices away weakness. It leaves behind a version of you that no longer reacts, only responds. And in that stillness, your power multiplies. She will test you, not to hurt you, but to measure your strength. She will push, withdraw, provoke, tempt. And the moment you flinch, the moment you explain yourself too soon, you've revealed the wound she never asked to see. But if you stay calm, if you let the storm rage and remain unmoved, she'll feel it, that quiet command, that invisible dominance, that control that speaks louder than any confession. In time, she'll realize something strange, that while others fought for her attention, you never did. While others tried to impress her, you just were. And that presence, that unshakable composure, will linger in her mind long after you're gone. So remember, emotions are a fire, warm enough to draw people close. But if you let them burn unchecked, they consume you, control them, and they illuminate your power. Be the flame, not the smoke. Be the calm, not the chaos. Because the man who owns his emotions owns the game, and in that silence of mastery, she'll chase the one thing she can't break: your peace. Power isn't in constant presence, it's in controlled absence. Machiavelli would vanish after influence was planted. A man of depth knows when to retreat, not out of fear but precision. Your silence becomes suspense. Your distance becomes magnetism. Never announce your exits. Never explain your retreats. Just vanish, and let her imagination do the work your words never could. When she leans in, lean just enough to let her feel connection. Then withdraw before she feels certainty. This creates an emotional rhythm: pursuit, reward, confusion, longing. That's not manipulation, that's psychological gravity. You're not playing games, you're awakening her primal instinct to chase what feels rare. Machiavelli believed that power is perception. If you act like the treasure, the world rearranges itself around that belief. Most men chase. Few position themselves to be chased. So embody that stoic indifference. Carry the stillness of a man who doesn't need to be wanted, and because of that, is wanted endlessly. She'll start to feel what you never say. She'll start to wonder what you never reveal. And soon, she won't stop thinking about you. Because she's no longer chasing love. She's chasing power. The kind you quietly own. Machiavelli's forbidden truth is this: control isn't found in force. It's found in restraint. The less you reveal, the more they invest. The less you chase, the more they chase you. The more you vanish, the deeper they fall. So be the mystery. Be the silence that echoes. Be the storm she can't predict. Because when you master distance, you don't just attract, you rule.